To be a teacher is one of the most exciting jobs that I could possibly think of. I come into work every day knowing that I am going to make a difference in a kid's life. I know that I can give the student an inspiration to perhaps become a mathematician or a teacher or somebody in the science field. I personally teach 5 classes. I teach 4 geometry classes and 1 AP Stat, and I have 150 kids. When students come into my classroom, either in geometry, in stat, in algebra, whatever it is, unfortunately students sometimes have a math phobia. I try to make it very collegial in my class. I try to make it so that students know that it's a safe place to share out.
You can feel it walking in that he is making the students feel so comfortable that they are open to learning anything.
I try every day to make a connection between the real world and the math that they're learning. I just taught the students about bias in sampling. One of the students was curious about teacher wages, and she went to the main office and looked at all of our time cards and found the numbers for our time cards, and she emailed 25 different staff members and asked them about how satisfied they were with their wages. I walked down to the main office with her, and the principal was there, and she said, "What are you doing?" to the student, and the student just explained the scenario without prompting from me because she was so invested. She used the correct vocabulary, she was able to defend why she was doing it, she explained the random number generator to my principal, so it was really nice.
I just flipped it around.
Yeah, you got it. Use the midpoint and draw it. I have a YouTube channel and it has 51 videos and counting. And my objective is to show the students an example of the work so that they can understand how it runs. And I often find that students will come back and say, "It seemed like you were talking to me one-on-one." So it was much easier to figure it out when it was just you and me. In classroom setting, it's not as easy, but with YouTube, I'm able to reach students individually, and I think that's very powerful. As you can see, I have 15 televisions all around the room. The purpose of that is for video game club. There were very few extracurriculars for students that were maybe a little bit more quiet, maybe a little bit more reserved. So my colleague Chris and I, who teaches across the hall from me, we started the video game club to give them a space to really get to know each other. The students that would normally be sitting at home on their game systems get to sit next to a person that lives down the block from them, and then they go to each other's houses and they start hanging out outside of school. Some of them went to college with each other.
It's a lot of hours and a lot of effort. Every PTA meeting he's there, he stays so many hours after school working with the kids on his own, and they know that they don't have to be afraid, that they can learn a subject like Algebra 2 or pre-calculus, as long as they have a teacher that believes in them and that can see their potential. He's Queens Metro. He's like the heart of it all.
I think that if you're passionate about your subject, I think that if you're passionate about science or math or English or whatever you're passionate about, if you're able to transmit that passion to your students, you'd be a great teacher.